This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
Well, we're going to keep the great times going today. We're going to be talking about Vengeance 2001. I can't believe this has been 20 years ago, Kirk. This feels like 10 years ago, not 20.
Yeah, time flies really quickly, man. It's been like 20 years and it feels like only a few years. I can't believe that I've actually been retired for 3 years now. So, the time goes by very quickly. You're absolutely right.
Well, of course, at the beginning of your career here, I mean, you had such an incredible 2001, and we're going to keep it going here as we talk about the November transition into December, which is where Vengeance 2001 happened. Let's pick it up, I guess, the Monday night after Survivor Series. That's where you would help the World Wrestling Federation end the alliance. The show is in Charlotte on the Monday Night Raw after, and the focus of the show is the WWF, of course, winning, and now you saving the company. And so you're going to go up to The Rock and ask him to thank you for saving the WWF. Were you excited to at least be back in that heel capacity? Because the whole alliance thing really threw everything off. Who's a good guy? Who's a bad guy? It was less about traditional heels and baby faces and more about brands, right?
Yeah. I mean, we were so called the heels, the alliance, but we weren't really heels. Going up to The Rock, Vince McMahon came to me and said, listen, I want you as a heel. After you save the company, which should make you a baby face, you save the WWF from WCW, from the alliance. It's going to turn you baby face, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to make you demand thank yous from the other wrestlers the next day. So it was easy to do that. And, the fans crapped on me. It was awesome. I stayed a heel and continued my run as a heel. So it was really cool.
How weird is it too, in hindsight? Nobody could have predicted back here in December of 2001. My goodness, The Rock is going to become the biggest movie star in the whole world.
Yes, he is. Yeah. The thing is, everybody knew Dwayne was going to be a big star. He was the most entertaining guy in sports entertainment. He really was. And Hollywood was looking at him for a long time. And, right away, I think in 2000, they signed him to a 5-picture deal. I believe it was, I can't remember the studio. But Rock was on his way. All he had to do is fall in suit, go through the motions, take some acting classes, and we all knew he was going to be a big star in Hollywood.
So, we should talk about the first big movie. I know he did some cameos and stuff on like that 70s show. And I think he was even like a Star Trek Voyager episode and all that jazz. But The Mummy Returns in 2001 is
New Line Cinemas. That's a promotion. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And so then he would do The Scorpion King, and he did The Rundown, and he did Walking Tall. You've tried your hand at acting. Did you first see maybe the groundwork that Rock was laying here and think, hey, I want to try that?
Oh yeah. I actually thought I'd have a great opportunity. I think what happened with me was I was doing movies. I did Warrior. I did Dylan Dog. I was a small part in Pain and Gain with The Rock. Started doing movies, but my behavior with the alcohol and the DUIs got me into a little bit of a bind with Hollywood. So they stopped calling, I've been spending the last 8 or 9 years trying to gain my reputation back so that Hollywood would continue to or start to call me back again. So it's just one of those things that I dug myself into a hole and I have to get myself out of it.
Sure, I get it. It's a wrestling podcast, but he's saving us money on our mortgage. Do you really trust this process? The reviews don't lie. 5-star review after 5-star review. We make it fast, we make it easy, and it's no cost or obligation. Give us a shot to earn your business. I'm telling you, you'll be glad you did, especially if you like keeping more of your own money. You don't need perfect credit or money out of your pocket, so what are you waiting for? Hurry to SaveWithConrad.com. But it's interesting to think 20 years ago when you're brushing up against The Rock, I mean, he's going to have the biggest movie in the history of Netflix. I don't even think anybody knew what that was going to be back then, but he's just surpassed every sort of milestone that you could put on a sports entertainer from a movie or Hollywood standpoint, if you will. And it feels like a lot of guys have started to follow in his footsteps. And if we only knew back then, right, what was going to happen.
Yeah. It's the thing is sports entertainment, wrestling in general, pro wrestling, you are kind of acting to some degree. So you do have a footprint in there to continue on to Hollywood. You're going to have to take acting classes. One thing I learned with my acting classes where I project my voice too loud. I'm doing it right now. When you act, they want you to stay low tone and only when you're upset or excited or angry do you yell. But I always project my voice because of pro wrestling.
Right.
When you're doing promos, you're saying it at a very high,
all you people out there, all that.
Yeah.
Stuff.
So we're having a hard time breaking that habit. And, my acting coach tells me every week, you got to stop, you got to calm down, lower your voice a little bit, be in the scene. Don't act like you're cutting a promo in professional wrestling.
Well, it is worth mentioning too, though, to your point about, hey, we're all kind of doing acting and wrestling. This is like unlike a Hollywood production. I mean, you've made a few films yourself. They could spend the entire day on one scene versus, when you're producing a Monday Night Raw or a SmackDown, people are doing those scenes throughout the day, and it's done, 14 scenes in a day, just done. Versus in Hollywood, man, they would spend multiple days, maybe weeks producing that same amount of content.
Oh, without a doubt. The thing is, wrestling is fast paced. You got to keep it fast paced because you only have a certain amount of time during the day before the show starts. So if you don't get it done during the day, you're gonna have to do it live at night. And, that would be a lot more pressure on you, but it happens quite a bit. Sometimes we don't get to the pre-tapes we need to get to during the day, and we film them live at night during the show.
Do you find the Hollywood experience at times to be more frustrating? Because on the wrestling side, timeline wise, it's sort of one take Jake, you're in and you're out versus
you're right.
Doing the same thing.
It's very slow and methodical. It's a lot of hurry up and wait. Yeah, it can get a little frustrating, but you have to accept that and just say, you know what, I'm not going to be impatient. I'm just going to wait for everybody to be ready, and then I will be ready. So it's just one of those things you have to deal with.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.